shot.
Perfecto. Alright, we're just telling you fellas that you started the live now. Let's get this one going. Alright, there we go. We have our people coming in. Good morning. Phenomenal. What's good? Good morning, everyone. We're just gonna get everybody in here. Lavish, how you doing? There you go, top of the morning. Actual feedback. Mint. There we go, as we get everybody in here. Let me just get my AirPods. There you go. Fana, what's up? Junior Osei, Grand Slam, my guy. That's the big OG right there. CFL legend. Alright, let me just get our topics in here and then we'll get this conversation started.
What's going on? We live on YouTube?
Yeah. There we go. Alright, so everybody do me a favor as we're getting this morning episode started. Send this out to 5 people in your immediate circle. It could be friends, sisters, brothers, cousin, schoolmate, somebody you work with. Doesn't matter. Somebody you share memes with. We're gonna have a great conversation. Yes, good morning, kings and queens. Leslie, how you doing? It's been a minute. Champ, what's good? I gotta make the announcement. We're about to be sold out. We got our party on the weekend. Got the last 2 booths, about to get the deposits, and then we did it, brother. Another one. Nana, what's up? Good morning. Everyone do me a favor though. Put a good morning in the chat. Let's just spread that positivity and great energy as it's a great morning. You know, summer's here. How you doing, brother?
Good. Can't complain, you know. Summer's here. Wow, summer already.
Yep. So literally.
School's out for the kids.
Yeah, I think some of them, this is like their last week or something like that, yeah.
And then get into the long weekend.
What
holiday is coming up?
Canada Day.
Yes.
Canada Day. So all over North America, because North America is going to get busy too. July 4th of July. I'm in the States on Saturday, so just before Sundance. But how was your weekend overall?
Weekend, eventful. I think I was a weekend both days. What happened Saturday? Yes, wedding. So childhood friend of mine got married, and then on Sunday, did the christening with my godson. You know? So I guess family.
Good.
Eventful weekend.
It's always good to see our family. Yeah, shout out to the Alpha Pack, Alpha Coin team. Me, Wavy, we were over there for the We Invest. That was good. I had to rush to. I had a wedding. There was a lot of weddings.
And I apologize. I was supposed to be at that event, but sometimes it gets the best of you, you know. So I apologize to anybody who expected me out there and didn't get an opportunity, chance to see me.
Crazy is I be, you know, the gems be flowing, so you be there in spirit because I'm talking like you. So it's good.
There you have it.
But yes, good morning to our people on YouTube. If you're just joining us on YouTube, make sure you click the like button. If you're just joining us randomly coming across it, make sure you subscribe, click the post notification page so that you can keep you up to date. We appreciate all the comments and we got a lot of great feedback from last week's episode with Randy, so that was good too. We're almost at some of our goals YouTube wise, but we're gonna get right into our topics. Episode 38. So our topics for this week's episode is appreciating yourself so you can appreciate others, finding your purpose and achieving it, and learning from your mistakes. So those are just the subtitles of them. We're gonna get into them, each and every one, and dig deep into each topic. But I hope everyone had a great weekend, and even if you didn't, don't worry, it's a brand new week. We can make up for last week by having a better week, and it all starts with you today.
What are you doing today? The little step, you know, be hopeful.
Literally, I went to the gym this morning. I was so mad because you know you're just tired, like you don't want to be there,
yeah,
but you gotta be there. And I had a busy weekend, so I knew I had to put in some work. But after you get the motion done in the hour, that's your 4% of your day. You know, so I encourage everybody to actually study what you do in your day. What percentage do you like use towards what? Because then it'll actually help you complete your total pie of what you need to do in the day. I know in high school we always talked about pie. What was it, I think 3.14? One of those.
3.14.
Okay, there we go. Still got it. But yeah, you know, we gotta look at that thing, because now when you look at it, like when I think about it, 1 hour of your day is 4% out of your day. We should be able to attack that, each and every one. Sometimes we don't even think we have the time, but we do if we make time.
It's about effort. It's about what you committing yourself to when you start your day. It shapes your day. You know, you get more out of the day once you won that first battle. Once you commit yourself to something that you say you're gonna do. Imagine what the rest of the day looks like. You know, because that's when it's very hard. Monday morning, if you can get up and do anything, like deliberate. Be disciplined about it and go through it, the rest of the week should be phenomenal for you.
100%. And I seen Nicole in here. Shout out to her. They just Side by Side family reached out to us to do an event in August, so we're getting the details back. So it's always good to see people we've worked with in the community. Innocent Villains, her brand as well too. So shout out to everybody that's been supporting us and helping us spread the word and get the brand to where it needs to be. Shout out to the team in the building as well too. We got a full house. Everybody's here, starting on time, and yeah, good energy, good vibes. So let's get into it. Okay, AirPods. My bad, guys. Is it this one? Oh, come on, AirPods. Alright, we good. Holy, I'm gonna do this.
Sorry, YouTube world.
There we go. My apologies, guys. I think we should be fine now. Apple tricked me. Alright, there we go. We should be good right now. Alright, there we go. My apologies. What do we say when bro, Apple just cheesed me? All this money, all this stuff, this should be 100%. But yeah, let's get right back into it. Everyone can hear us, just give us a thumbs up if we're good to go.
Good morning, happy Monday.
Yeah, once I get the thumbs up in there and I know you guys can hear me and we're good to go, then okay, there we go, we're good. Hello, what's up? My apologies, guys, that was AirPods just disconnected. I gotta make sure I have that on 100%. And we should be good to go. But yeah, so our first topic, appreciating yourself to appreciate others. There we go, yes, thumbs up are coming, there we go. My bad if it woke you guys up or took you off or, you know, set you off a little bit, but we're back to it. And to our YouTube family, I apologize, my bad. But yes, appreciating yourself to appreciate others. I think sometimes we're in a world right now where it's like people, especially us, I can speak from, we're 91 babies.
Yeah.
We're in our 30s now, so it's like we've lived a pretty long time, you know, and we're like, it's not like high school no more, where you do all of this for everybody or for anybody. Now, we're very selective with who we do and who we make time for. And I think sometimes we get lost in the sauce when it comes to even appreciating ourselves, because we're looking for people to appreciate what we do for them. And then that becomes a whole another thing.
You know, it's just fascinating that we spend our lives looking at places where we shouldn't look. Like, you know, especially in times like these where we feel like if we can't find love in ourselves, we're made up of what people think of us or what people say about us, right? And in the, like, as you get older, you know, you might not be able to keep our friendships, or you might not see the relationships. I guess in relationships, it's not always reciprocal. you might feel like you gave in to one person more than they gave in to you, and then it kind of shapes who you are, right? So appreciating people and accepting ourselves for who we are is something that we really gotta tie it in.
No, it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm gonna appreciate myself. I'm gonna appreciate all the great things I've done or what I've been able to accomplish. Why do we get so sidetracked when things are going wrong or when bad things happen? That it's like, because it's there in our mind, but that's the last thing we're thinking about.
It's just the way the humans are programmed. If I'm not mistaken with these numbers, when things go wrong, we need 5 positive events for it to map out or balance out, I should say. So you could imagine that ratio 5-1. So you have a bad day, you got literally means you gotta have 5 good things, and especially for you to deem what's good. That's another topic, right? So it's just not just 5 good things. It could be as simple as somebody opening the door for you. That's a good gesture, right? But you're not taking it as consideration. It's not, I guess, stimulating your mind enough for it to counter what it is that you've been through, as it may be waking up late or maybe getting the bad news or even getting you get laid off and somebody opens the door for you in the morning because you're throwing out the garbage. That's not going to balance out. You're going to be like, this is not what we're talking about here. You need something eventful. You need somebody to literally open the door and give you an event opportunity for another job. Then we can talk about it balancing out. But that just kind of goes how the world has a negative pull, right? I feel like there's a more negative pull. When things go wrong very fast. And it seems to literally multiply, right? But when things are going good for you, it's actually divided on a slow pace, and eventually you want a new stimulation that's going to keep you going, make you feel better about yourself. So we deal with all of that.
That makes sense, and I didn't even know that number, the 5
and 1, and then it's like the 5 matters. It's like it's relative to like what it is that you want for yourself. You know, bad news is bad news. Good news is subjective. What is good news to you may not be good news to me.
And then shout out to, I see you guys active on the YouTube family. Thanks for the thumbs up. Make sure if you come in there, you like right away, because I see more comments than I see likes. So let's make sure we add it up and make it get. Shout out to our Grand Simons family too. I got the t-shirt on as well too. I don't know if somebody sent it to you guys, but yes. Now, in appreciating yourself, it can go back to like even little things as from daycare or like to middle school or even elementary school, college, because I feel like as life goes on, and if we are able to, like, it's easy for us to remember those things, school, the things that we've come through. Like sometimes there's been people who've overcome some big things through school, whether it was like even friendship or university, colleges, getting assignments done, tasks, passing, all these other stuff. Is it then like, should there be like a journal? Should there be something like, would we encourage people to kind of sit back and write the good things if you're having trouble of remembering?
Well, like, you see when people keep notes and write diaries and things, I often tell them, like, don't just write the bad stuff, right? Because it lives with you forever. Like, that's no thing like reprogramming your mind. Like, go through your diary, write down the good things, right? And even the bad things, let's dissect it. How bad is it? Same way we question when something good happened to us, question when something bad happens to you, right? So it's kind of like journal. A journal is not just for the bad events. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, your life is not a horror movie, right? You don't want your documentary to be all the horrors that happen in your life, right? I'm sure you have good times, good days, live through those moments, enjoy those moments. If you get time to spend time with your family, track it down so you can actually relate to it. Because once again, when things happen bad, how we start to psych ourselves believing that this is us, this always been us, and things like this always happens to me, and never account for the good things. And even when people try to show us the good things, we can't even envision that. Right? So writing it down, knowing that this is not your story. So when you go through it and you have when so-and-so broke your heart, when your friend disappointed you, when your brother or sister or mother said that words that really bothered you, but yet you have nothing in your notebook that the time when your siblings came through and supported you, moral support, or when your friend just called to check in on you, and you just don't know those moments, because we just said life has a negative pull. I mean, that's what TV sells. Like, you ask people how this actually been a study, you ask people how often a crime happens, and they always over exaggerate the number because of what they see on TV. Like, they think like in this day and age, everybody's dying every other minute, but that's not the case. It's just because how the media and the things that we see on social media pollute our minds. So it's good to see happy, feel good moments, and you see people share stories, and then the other side of it, because people are going through hard times. Even when now people share their happy stories, people want to tear it down. Like, why is life working out for you? And you just got to start showing gratitude, you know? And gratitude is not for every now and then, it's for every single day.
And you know, yesterday the BET Awards, Diddy, they gave him a lifetime achievement award, and you know, he donated $2 million to 2 schools, and before he did he accepted it, he made sure that he announced and shouted out some people who were there for him during his downtimes. I think Cassie was one of them, and it was a good moment. But in that moment, he realized that he had to learn to appreciate literally others, because he remembers when he was at a place at a bad time where he couldn't even do what he's doing right now. So to him, he knew how powerful it was to be on the stage at that time in what's going on in the world, to make sure he pinpointed to shout out certain people. And at that moment, that's when I literally really understand that, like, it's crazy. You may think some of these celebs have everything they need, the money, the millions, life is good, but they're going through bad time. They're just humans, just like us. So it doesn't matter the social status or what they're going on. They're just human, facing the same problems. So I say that to say that, you know, we need to literally focus on, you know, it's like what our platinum said, on you, our problems, what we got going on, who we surround ourselves with, or who we allow to enter our life, for it to be on a positive note or a negative note, and what we're able to do with it. Because I posted it today, I was doing push-ups and I was thinking, I'm like, yo, it's so crazy. Life has its ups and downs, literally just like push-ups. But you know, you gotta pace yourself.
Repetition is about keep going, you know, like there's this thing I mentioned the other day when it's like, life don't happen to you, it happens for you. Which is like literally like what you take from it. Like all experience has gotten you up till today, right? Good or bad, right? And you gotta make most of it, because like you heard me say this time and time again, like nobody's gonna come save you. You have to live your life like you're the superhero in your movie. So when you start to realize that these things, I mean, the creator, whoever your believer is, if you think you've been chosen out of the 7.5 billion people to deal with all these hardship nonstop continuously, like I think you really need to start reflecting on life, because you're a little self-centered. Like literally, like if you think everything just goes wrong, and like, no matter who you are, if we were to put all of us in a bucket, like whatever it is, and we could throw in the best of the best. Let's throw in Kylie Jenner, because that's somebody's thing that we all want, and then let's throw people in the third world country that's dealing with a war reckoning country, for instance, and say, let's take that chance, right? We're gonna put you in the pot, right? With the 7.5 billion people, you don't know whose life you're gonna get. If you think your life is that bad, are you willing to take that chance? And most people won't. So that's kind of like the sense, like we need to do that take back and start appreciating the things that we do have, and start appreciating what we're going through, right? Because life is not out to get you. You got to make most of it. And I know things will go wrong, right? But that's what life is all about, is the experience, gathering it, right? If there's no meaning of life, if we just live casually, just going through life with no type of challenge, then what else is there? Right? Like I say this all the time, the only way we could experience sadness or happiness is if we experience sadness. How are we able to determine that we're feeling good? Because we know how it is to feel bad about ourselves. We know how it is. Why we enjoy food, because we know what hunger is like. You know what I mean? So we know when something tastes good, like this is it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like we just always gotta balance it out in how we look at life, and appreciate the things that you do have. Welcome your challenges, welcome your problems. Don't sit in it. It's building you to be a better person. How bad, how big.
So is it safe to say, in order for us literally to appreciate others, we must appreciate ourselves first? That is the priority, putting ourselves first.
Self-awareness is always the key, and understand that we all have flaws. Every single one of us has a flaw, right? Every single one of us has a flaw. And then if you accept your flaws, you tend to accept other people's flaws and work with people, right? It's not always an attack, right? Because often when we want to address something, it's you. And I talked about this before, how we attribute when things happen to us and when things happen to other people. Right? I said this, when something goes wrong for me, it's because of an external factor. I.e., I use this as an example. If I'm late, it's because of the traffic. If you're late, it's because of you. You you're the type of person that's always late, right? And that's how we attribute all our problems to people. So until we realize that we're no different from the other person that we're talking to, and start putting ourselves in other people's shoes and perspective, then we could never really appreciate others. And so it starts with appreciating ourselves, knowing that we're not perfect. We have flaws ourselves, and they might see those flaws. And the thing that you might feel like is basic and understanding for everybody, that might not be the case. There's culture difference, there's social difference, right? So we got to start appreciating ourselves to be able to appreciate others.
And we got to comment here. Yes, I agree. Every positive experience isn't positive for everyone, and that's true too. Sometimes and that's why it's so important to put your feet in other people's shoes. Like sometimes when you're dealing with situations, because you may look at it as something positive while they're looking at it something negative, and here you are with two different mindsets on the same situation.
It's a difficult place that we live in. Like everything is much more complex. Like when you're happy, you want to share good news with somebody, and they're not kind of showing that kind of energy. It's kind of heartbreaking. Like to think that this moment means something to me, and here you are, and it could be as little as anything. Like, hey, I finally got an air fryer. I've been saying somebody like, that's it. Like everybody had an air fryer 2 years ago. And like that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about when everybody had an air fryer. We're talking about the moment that I'm enjoying right now. If you're rejoicing in anything, allow your friends to rejoice with you, right? Enjoy the moment, live through the moment. It means more, right? And I encourage people to celebrate other people's win, no matter how big or how small. It means something to them. When you see a smile on somebody's face, tell them to start showing extra teeth. You want to see all 30, 40 teeth, like, you know what I mean? Encourage people to smile more so we can have a better place. And then you have that friendship of sharing. Because when we have good moments, it's okay for us to come back to each other with, like, moments that we're not proud of, right? That's what we're going to create, that space for ourselves and our friends where we feel like we can go through anything together. Because by yourself is difficult, right? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others.
And as you said that, I did a Thanksgiving christening yesterday for this baby, and the two aunties, the auntie came and I guess she was invited, but she wanted the phone call from the mom personally. So they're walking in and she said, oh, you didn't do a good job. She's like, what are you talking about your hair? She's like, I didn't get the phone call from you. That's what I needed. And it's funny, like, people at times, like the mom's probably looking like, what? Like, please, you don't know what I had to deal with. The fact that you're here, I knew you would be here. But that lady's looking like, sometimes it's good to know that we can have this conversation, because she's like, yo, we could talk about certain things. And the lady's like, you know what, you're right. My apologies.
That's exactly it. Don't be so quick to judge. Everybody have problems. Like I just said, the illustration that I gave earlier on how people's perspective on things, we really got to look at that in our own lives. It's like, how do we handle situation? How are people dealing with us when we're on the other side, right? And the roles will reverse. It might not come through the same channel. That's the exact same thing with a blessing too, by the way. It's like kind of like, if people feel like often if they bless somebody, that blessing might return back. That's not how it works. It flows in energy. If you've been a blessing to somebody else, your blessing is coming from somebody above you, somebody bigger than you. So don't wait with your hands out saying you helped a friend and you're waiting for your friend to give it back or take it out on them. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But that's in a kind of a way, like an appreciation, right? It's an abundance, right? You empty your cup, you leave room for more to come. And why would you want back something that you gave? Don't you want bigger and better? So it's kind of like, let it flow. And that doesn't necessarily mean next week, next month. There's no guarantee in life, but for you to continuously keep understanding that you are blessed. No matter what it is that you have, you are blessed.
And I love what Nicole said. She said, I think what also can be addressed is being able to accept the positive that comes to you. It's not always easy to accept something, especially if you are so used to the negative.
Yeah, like I just said, some people are so in a dark place when the little glimmer of dark, they don't even believe it. They don't think it's possible. They think this is like a setup. Like they think like this can't be, or like they see something good, it's like, I know how this is, now something bad is gonna happen. Like, you know what I mean? In darkness, if it's just, it might not be a lighter, it might just be a flick or candles, like where it's kind of like, it's hope, it's possibility, it's the beginning of something great, right? It's the beginning of something great.
And over the weekend I hosted this the first ever City of Toronto Black Youth Gala presented by the Toronto Youth Cabinet Committee, which is led by a Ghanaian, Stephen Mensah, who's the executive director. And I met the head of TDSB, the head of Toronto Housing Communities, and a couple important people into what they're doing with the community. And you know, brought up while I was on stage, I let them know about our podcast and stuff, and they had a lot of great stuff to say, and also, like, you know, willing to work with us and see what we could do for the community. And I say that today, sometimes we just gotta, like, when you're in spaces, you gotta be able to, you know, speak about certain things, be able to, you know, elaborate, or like, don't be afraid, because you never know in that moment. Like, I know, like, seeing that lady, you know, she's a black lady, when she heard about the podcast, and I love what we say, like educating people on self-purpose, passion. And so, you know, when you speak that in front of a bunch of people, there was like 500 people, our slogan, not that it sounds good, but it is good, like what we're talking about, and making sure everybody knows that it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. So all these things that we're talking about, every topic that we're talking about right now, even accepting yourself to appreciate others, starts with you. Everything starts with you. You got to look at life from a positive standpoint. We always talk about it. If you wake up and start your day with meditation, or like if you're to wake up to pick up your phone and go on social media, you're gonna have two different kind of days.
Control the spirit of your day. Literally, control the spirit of your day. Like I said, it was kind of like, there was a joke in my friends, was like, don't let nobody else ruin your day, ruin it yourself. If it's gonna go get ruined, literally, like, don't let nobody else ruin your day, ruin yourself if that's how it's gonna be, literally. And it's kind of like, that's what I mean by controlling your day. Like, be deliberate, be diligent in what you do each and every single day, like your actions, like what it is that you're gonna do, because they're coming. There's somebody whose day was ruined from 6 a.m. and they're willing to empty themselves onto you. Misery loves company. I'm sure we all heard it before, right? They're gonna come into the workplace and they're often nice, but today they just had a bad weekend and they might take it out on you. So if you feel like you're gonna allow somebody else to ruin it, do me a favor and ruin it yourself.
And you know, don't this weekend I made a mistake. Like, I tried to get even on my boy, which is so stupid, and it's costing me at the end. And I'm so mad because now I'm thinking about my bro. I should have just chilled and relaxed. But in that moment, I was so heated. I'm like, we have to get even.
Don't go down on that path. The devil will drag you to a place much further lower than you scoop into the level that your friend put you on. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Sometimes that resentment, that darkness that we feel about people may not. What's the word I'm looking for? We may not be able to exert that energy that we're hoping to exert back onto somebody else. It's really us. When we want to get dark, we only get in dark within ourselves. You know, and it'll take you to a place you do not want to be. And what's gonna bother you more is when you look up and the person that you're hoping to drag into that darkness is in a better place than you were. And then you just keep going, right? You just get, so the whole idea of like revenge and like don't grow any kind of resentment against anybody.
Yeah, learn from me. Learn from my mistake right there, ladies and gentlemen. And me and him are good. Like, you know, we laughed about it good, but and in my head I know what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, I should have never done this. But yes, I encourage everybody. We have a question box on our IG Live. We also have our top chat feed on the YouTube. So just like how we've been doing already, and I see a lot of people agreeing on the YouTube, feel free to chime in if you have any questions. You can use the question box. Music by Time, my guy. I had a great time in Niagara with the family, but use the question box or use the live chat that is happening on YouTube to ask questions, or if you feel like there's something that you want to add to it, or, you know, refer or say anything about it, about what we're talking about. From
don't trust your mind. You ask what you don't know. Fear, false evidence appearing real. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing. You know,
facts.
That's willful blindness. Like, not knowing is much different from knowing and not acting upon it. If you have a deeper meaning, a deeper calling, you always gotta go search. You always gotta go search. And it could be like, that's what we talk about, the awareness. Like, you know, people like, I can't do this, you know. Well, start building habits, right? It's not gonna be overnight. Like, you know, people might judge me. People are always judging. That's what we do. We judge all the time. When we see somebody, we're taking it from our past experience, looking at them, how they dress, how they look, the words that they use. So we cannot let those things deter us from participating in the game that's going on, right? Because we're often gonna miss out, and then we're gonna grow that resentment and have that. And then we lose ourselves. Like, that resentment will make us lose ourselves. You know, and that's the whole thing. Is like, you know, appreciate yourself, appreciate others, understand that we all have flaws, right? Nobody's above you, and you're not above nobody. And what you're good at, somebody else might not be good at.
Literally, you just gotta accept that. It's reality.
It's reality, you know what I'm saying? Some people come on in this world and they're, I guess, one in a billion, and they change the dynamics of life. And we all want great. We all want, but what is great? Right? Greatness could be you establishing a platform for somebody to be great. Right? That's greatness in itself. Right? So it's not so much as the social status or being known worldwide. It's the only form of greatness. Like I just said, greatness could be on you creating that platform for somebody else to be great. Because without you, the other person don't exist.
We got a question. There we go. You know me, I love questions. My guy Flip Rico. What do you do when you have very negative and pessimistic people around you?
I mean,
the fact that you even, that choice of words, we're gonna have to give you that great answer because you made sure. Great question as well too. You know, even before we answer that question, as we were having this conversation, I was realizing, I'm like, yo, this is why it's so important, vice versa for us too, because I know during our spare time, we go and we watch others and listen to other podcasts. It's so important to, you know, give time for the day to learn from others and have these conversations and learn, because even me, as I'm sitting here, talking about that situation over the weekend, I feel a little better now. And I know how to, you know, I had to be the bigger person to apologize, which we hate sometimes, you know, but I had to do that just to get things going back and flowing. But that's a great question. I'll repeat it again. What do you do when you have very negative and pessimistic people around you?
Don't be afraid to separate yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to separate yourself and start from getting like-minded people. Pessimist people tell you everything that's wrong, right? They don't, you know, and I often question, right? Whenever things are going wrong, question it. See how far it takes you, right? So if you're just being negative, right, then they're just negative people. But even in myself, I tell people all the time, never critique or judge something unless you don't have a solution. So you're quick to say this won't work, that won't work, right? So ask them. So they're negative and you're trying to start a business. Yeah, that won't work. That's a bad idea. All right, so-and-so, buddy of mine, do you want to tell me what will work? Right? Question them. And that's when you have the negative thoughts yourself too, right? When people have all the red flags and why something, you just ask them. So then you let them come to the realization is that you're able to see all the things that are wrong, but you're not able to see anything that's positive, then you do not have the answers. And people like that, you got to stay away from. Don't be afraid to separate yourself so you could grow. And it says move, step aside so you could grow. People are in your way, right? So when you have people that are constantly negative, and it could be family, right? You can't get rid of your family. Family is family, right? But it's a way of creating that safe space, like-minded people. Tune in to the family, our Motivation Monday family, and see that people will encourage you to do things, right? You're gonna be around those kind of people. But like I just said, when you have a negative thought, when you have negative people, let's dissect it. It's quick for you to say this is not gonna work. All right, tell me what works, right? This is not me judging. I want you to help me because you're helping me to tell me that this is not gonna work. Yeah, you're looking out for my best interest. So let's keep going. I wanna sit down with you. I wanna talk to you, you know? And then if you see that they're just literally just being negative, do not be afraid to step away from people who are not helping you grow. Do not be afraid. And the thing is that even with family, often, you know, it's kind of like the rope that we're holding on to. We think it's a rope, but it's actually a snake biting us. If we let it go, in a way, it will form itself and come back how we want it or how we should have had it before, right? Don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to let go. You're holding on to something that's cutting you. Don't be afraid to let go. No matter how much love, no matter what you say, understand that the love that you have for it is the reason why you're letting it go, because it's literally killing both of you guys. Deep down, it's literally killing both of you guys. Because like I just said, they're putting you in a place you do not want to be, and unconsciously you're probably giving out energy that they do not want. So don't be afraid to let go. And one day, if they are meant to be in your life, they'll come back and that'll be the thing that they talk about, and it could be addressed, such and such and such, so you guys can grow from that situation. So if you have somebody negative in your life and they're pessimists about this will go wrong and whatever, get around some other people. Get around some people that's gonna make you believe that you could fly. You know, balance it out.
Well said. And you know, whenever people ask questions and we answer them, we want to make sure that you put a thumbs up in the chat so that we know you answered your question, or if you want us to dig in a little deeper or elaborate some more. So I'm waiting for them thumbs up. Ellie Shermer, shout out to my guy, the Elements of Toronto. Carnival returns this year, so we have a lot in store. Daylight is coming up, so you know, I don't want to say too much. We got some special guests. There we go. We got the thumbs up. We got some special guests, and if you know about the previous years, then you know how we do already. inflation is up, so it's crazy, right? Tickets are $150, but at the end of the day, it's Caravana. So they're gonna go up. I'm telling you from now. Sundance this weekend, tickets are about to go up as well too. So just gotta chime that in there just for people. You understand what's going on. But yes, click our family. A lot of thumbs up. Poby, what's good? We need some. My guy Poby wants to actually drop us some drinks. He does the healthy drinks, shots of healthy drinks. A little, Max is on the vegan side.
I'm on the still plant-based.
Plant-based. So let's make sure. There we go. B Vibe Juicery. So let's make sure that we check them out too, and we'll have like something in the works. I know that's my Ghana brother. He's always talking about. Let's make sure in the top of the morning. But yes, Anaya, what's good? But yeah, that's our first topic. Learning to appreciate yourself, to appreciate others. I think we nailed down almost each and every part of that. We got a couple more minutes before we get into our affirmation. I want to make sure encourage everybody who's watching on our IG live, make sure you do go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Motivation Mondays. When you subscribe, you'll see what's going on. You get to see different angles. We have a whole live chat. Our people are running it up over there. I like that. I appreciate that. But if you come into the YouTube, click the like button, subscribe. We want to see this grow. We're about 25 away from 300, and then we got more work to do to get on the road to 1,000. But we're gonna keep going. And Max is putting the structure that I was happy when I said this morning. I was like, yeah, there we go. So we're gonna be. If we stay like this, we're good to go. So appreciate everybody behind the scenes, and also the people in front of the scenes, you guys, the viewers, the people who make sure they tune in and send this out to somebody. And I see a lot of new faces, which means people are sending it out. So welcome to Motivation Mondays, a platform where we educate people on understanding self, purpose, passion, and finances. And we're making the uncool cool while realizing it's you versus you. And if you've been tuning in from day one, honestly, with this inflation and everything rising, I think all the gems have been said and all the topics have been to lead you in the right direction, so you're not too worried. Like now,
you have all the tools, the necessary tools. Now you may not make it out on top, but you're not gonna let it kill you. You're not gonna let it crumble you. I mean, we deal with the pandemic, we just deal with the whole lockdown, and we deal with grocery store food shortages. In the last 2 years, you were talking life skills that lives with you forever.
Literally. And as things are coming back, I know Nika be tuning in here and there, so I want to congratulate Nika. He just got married this weekend, to him and his wife too. Big shout out to them.
Oh, congrats.
It's beautiful to see. We're all growing up. We're all growing up. So to see the whole family there enjoying and having great times with their family friends, just like you were talking about over the weekend, it's a good thing to see. I did a wedding on the weekend. So it was a Ghanaian and then a Caucasian family from Brockville, and it was good because the lady she learned to speak Tree. She actually spoke better Tree than the Ghanaian himself. So
wow.
It was good to see. What is it? Monday is the best day of the week.
Yes, that's what we want to start doing. Change that mindset. Don't let Mondays be the worst day. Have a purpose to get up, something to do. Because if you have that, man, you're not screaming TGIF, man. You're just having every day is the best day of your life. Make most of it.
We haven't been hearing TGIF at all.
That's good. We shouldn't. It's like let's make something of ourselves. Monday, Tuesday, no matter what day it is, and enjoy every single moment of it.
Financial Knowledge Box. I see you guys join. I just like the name in itself, so shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody joining us. One more minute and then I'm gonna get ready for our affirmation. Yo, June is almost done. Oh my goodness,
June is done. Next week is July 2nd.
That went by quick. Holy. Yeah. Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
Canada Day. Oh my goodness, that's wow.
6 months.
Oh my goodness,
Let's get into the weekly affirmation.
All right, let's get it. We're getting to 11. Oh, well, we got like 30 seconds. We'll give a countdown. Make sure we're on
Cross
point.
Your fingers for the 11:11.
Everybody, just get ready. Take a second to meditate and get ready to indulge this affirmation that is going to be said. All right, 11:11 on the dot. Thank you, blessing. All right, we're gonna do it like this. Happiness and success are my birthrights. Confidence comes naturally to me. I have immense respect for myself. I can achieve anything I set my heart on, and I speak my mind with confidence. So I'm going to repeat that again. We're going to break that down. Happiness and success are my birthrights. Confidence comes naturally to me. I have immense respect for myself. I can achieve anything I set my heart on, and I speak my mind with confidence.
Happiness and success. Happiness is not something tangible. It's kind of like a process, but like that birthright right there, it's kind of like it belongs to you. Like, you know what I mean? Man, I say that again because happiness is not a destination, it's about the journey. It belongs to you, Confidence comes to you naturally. We all know confident people overcome certain situations. Like when you believe in yourself, like you make it through. When you know that this is not you. It's okay to go through moments where you feel sad about yourself when things are not working out. But when you have the confidence, like this is not going to be me forever. Like I'm feeling it now, but it's not going to be me forever. And then that respecting yourself is always about self-love and everything, and you can achieve anything if you put your heart, anything else to it. So it's just all about, what belongs to you. Are you going to take full ownership of your life? And besides that, no one understand, like no matter how hard it is going for you, this is not you. Your circumstance or situation does not determine who you are, right? Good or bad. Exactly. Good or bad. If you're at the top, doesn't determine who you are. It's the hardship that makes you, right? And if you're going through hardship, it's how you come through those moments that makes you who you are. That's when character, people say, take this home with you. Let's do this. You're not having a bad day. You're having a character building day. That's what we're gonna start doing now. We're not having a bad day. We're having a character building day. That's what it's about. So whenever you feel like this ain't it, you're learning new skills. Like this is it. This is something that I learned. I learned how to deal with heartbreaks. I learned how to deal with people not coming through when they say they're gonna come through. I learned how to deal with people's emotional instability. Like, you know what I mean? Those are character building days. Skill sets that lives with you forever. So you're not having a bad day. You're having a character building day.
I love it, everybody. Let me find out you're getting to spoken word too. I was snapping my fingers when you're going. I was like, yo, we're in the spoken word. Max coming with the gems and the knowledge. But yes, everybody's agreeing with the facts on YouTube. Brown guy, you've been every week, my guy. No lie. And shout out to our YouTube family, because I know you see with YouTube, you can be anywhere in the world. And they're watching and tuning in and chiming in the topic. So I love to see that your circumstances or situation doesn't define who you are. Biggest facts I've ever heard. See, that's why I'm snapping. I'm telling you, it's coming naturally right there. But yes, that's our affirmation, and we always encourage people to practice. Like, don't let it just be wait for Motivation Monday. I'm gonna get an affirmation. No,
it's every day. And I was talking to my boy here. It's kind of like motivation is every day. We're just the platform for Mondays. But it should be within yourself, motivate your team. Like, and it's kind of like, and we know it, sometimes motivation don't work. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, sometimes like, man, when you talk about get up, like, sometimes it needs more. Sometimes it needs discipline, but whenever you can, like, it's kind of like a shot of adrenaline. You feel good, but then life will knock you out. Life will knock you down your face if you're optimistic, but when you get punched in your mouth, you got to look up so you can get up, and fight back.
No, that's true. Hey, Kaylin. Kaylin just joined us on YouTube. I believe you're a new subscriber too, so shout out to you, whoever brought her here or however you got here. Keep it up and send it to another friend the same way how you got here. Send that same energy and same direction.
Share the wisdom, share the opportunity. Why? Because it leaves room for you to gain more, right? You know what I mean? Reciprocal energy. You put somebody on something great, they and soul will return something great for you, knowing that this could be something that could change your life. And if you're listening to this, and people will say, I'm looking for that sign. This is the sign right here to do all that you can, self Motivation Monday.
Let's get into our second topic, finding your purpose and achieving it. We may be in a time where, like, it's crazy because we're able to see other success in front of our faces, whether it's billboards, Instagram, and you may feel like, oh my goodness, my time, when is it coming? Or I want to, everyone's not really like, okay, because they're in the workspace or they don't like the job they're at, they're trying to figure out, what is my purpose? I know I'm not going to just be at this job my whole time and giving them I want to give more, because we're hearing all these different success stories and even stories that people came from like negative surroundings or upbringings and they're able to change it to a positive. How are we able to then find your purpose? Because you can feel like, okay, school, we were able to go to school. We talked about it earlier. Daycare, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. You go to university or you go somewhere else. You get a degree. Boom. Now you're trying to find a job. Can't find your job. Now you got to go settle with another job. Like, there's so many. And I'm saying all these different scenarios because as individuals, we all come from different scenarios in life. So there could be somebody who had this purpose on their mind the whole time. and they just kind of put two and two together to fulfill it.
Work with me here, folks. This is like a very complex. It's not just gonna be like one of those things where you just kind of answer, but there's a few things I will talk about. Purpose is, it has to be gravitating. It has to be meaningful to you, right? Doesn't, unless, and I'm gonna add, let's separate social status with purpose. Meaning that this is what I want for myself. If I achieve it, I fulfill my purpose, right? Like I talk about, it has to be meaningful, right? And you know when something is meaningful, when you're all in, when it has your full undivided attention. You ever get topics of conversation where you're just fully engaged, you're just zoned out from the rest of the world? Those are things that is stimulating your mind, that you find intriguing, that you should continue to pursue. Now, to further go on, like we see other people's success, don't assume that all glitter is gold. Right? You see somebody else's success and you might think they have it figured out, this is what you want for yourself. That might not be the case. You see them with a new car, right? But they're literally like killing themselves to make that payments on that car in a job they do not want to be in. But they keep on that smile for you on the gram to sell you a vision for them to feel part of self. Like the only way I feel that I'm who I think I am is if people give me the approval that I think I need, right? And it's all about concept and perception. It's not even so much of who you exactly are, it's who do you think you are is based on what you think people think of you, right? And why I say it's so complex about finding your purpose is, you know, your purpose may be to help others, and you're in the field, and this is nothing against him. Shout out my boy J90. He was in here. I was with him on the weekend. We had a fun time last night. But you know, and I'm just gonna use this per se. Like your purpose might feel like to help others, right? And you might be a plumber, right? That might not seem fitting in the moment on looking at it on the surface. That how could I fulfill my purpose through this? But if you go through that, I guess, tunnel on the other side of becoming the best plumber, you would then now be able to be a manager, create your own business. And through that, you find your purpose of helping people, right? So it's not so much as, I want to give back, so I got to start volunteering and giving back. Maybe in that domain that you're in, right? Because we have so many people that committed through the education system, do something that they do not feel fulfilling. But maybe you cannot escape that, right? Because of the bills and the obligation that you created for yourself. But through that, make that be the reason why you fulfill your purpose. Use your passion to fulfill your purpose, right? That's what it's about. So go through that tunnel, whatever it is that you're doing, keep at it. If you feel like you can separate yourself without losing yourself, the concept of self is so important, because once you lose self, nothing is happening for you. You're there trying to recalculate and figure out how things should be before you step into the light of your true purpose. So finding your purpose in itself is very complex, but take this home with you. It has to be gravitated to you. It's meaningful. It has your full undivided attention. Right? You know, there's certain conversation where you're just zoning in. It's just like, well, I want to hear more. And then you start going on YouTube, typing in crazy stuff, how to do this on Google, That is meaning. That's where your purpose needs to be found, right? And it's not a social status. It's not you having the biggest IG page or you being Elon Musk, whatever kind of a thing. I guarantee you Elon Musk's deal wasn't to be a trillionaire or to end up in the position that he was in, right? If it was through creating fuel efficient cars or energy, whatever it is, you got to read up on his story. It was that was able for him to eventually get to where it is that he needs to be. So you first got to go through that tunnel of like where you are and wanting more for yourself and the things that's gravitating towards you. And yeah, and then it's a little step at a time. It's not going to be overnight, right? And it's and also your first step is not going to be a thing where is parade worthy, I should say. Like, you know, what I mean by that is your first win sometimes may not be something that everybody's maybe like, this is the best thing to ever happen to you. It's just a little step, right? It's a little step, and eventually you can start working towards what it is that you want for yourself.
100%. Shout out to a couple people just came in here, Culture Land Fest. We got that going on August 6 and 7. Burner Boys coming here. You know, everybody's finding their purpose. I'll be emceeing that as well too. And Sam, Toronto Argonauts, Ghanaian as well too. A lot of great people that are in certain spaces, and you know, that's the CFL league right there. So we got some things to talk about. And even when it comes to the Elon Musk, we might just have to ask him ourselves. He might come up here. I mean, I like to manifest and put things in the air like that too. So you never know. We might, I can see him doing that. But I love what Brown Guy said over here. You just got to keep working. Find what you're passionate about. Spartan, kick any door that closes on you. Mind over matter. Never allow anyone to tell you different.
Yeah. Don't let people's words or ideas determine your destination where your life needs to be.
100%. I'm getting a lot of clapping emojis over there and hearts coming from our IG live. And there's no rush. There's no rush.
There's not. Be brave enough to live the life that your dreams according to your vision and purpose. There's no rush. Don't let nobody else force you in a place you don't want to be. You know what I mean? Up until like age 12, the people who are a little rebel from their parents early, We listen to what our parents tell us because we don't know any better. And then we get into about teenage years, group mind thinking. Our parents say, hey, are you following so-and-so? No, mom, we all follow each other. And then you get into 18, 19, and then it's kind of like, you commit yourself into some type of relationship where you start living the life that your partner wants you to live. So I ask you, 20, 25 years, are you living your life according to your dreams and purpose? Or is it your parents to friends to a committed relationship, right? So find out what is best for you. And the only way you could give back to all these people that are in your life that say they love you is for you to be yourself and for you to love yourself. That's why we went back to our first topic of appreciating yourself and appreciating others.
And over the weekend, the event I did yesterday, my dad came there and he was calling me, but he was calling me MC in front of everybody. So everybody was laughing, and even me, it was one of those moments I'm like, wow, it's just crazy to see, years after when I first thought about talking about doing this, that was not the route. But now, over time when you're able to...
Your parents will meet you there. Parents are scared, they don't know any better. I'm telling you guys this. Parents are scared because they don't know any better. They're looking at your life circumstance and what they coulda, shoulda, woulda done, and they're just telling you. It's not like they want bad for you. It's because you can't. They care for you deep enough where they want the best for you. So they're under the assumption that what they didn't do, it should be the answers for you. But African parents, no matter what it is, they'll meet you there. Don't be afraid to take that journey. No matter what it is, they'll meet you there. Whatever it is that you're doing, once they see that you're in a place where you're comfortable and you're working it out for yourself, they're like, and they start to take credit for it. But let them have it,
Facts,
let them have it.
I love Natasha said, ooh, dang, he's dropping gems. Needed to hear this. I had to say it just like that because I had to read it like how she's probably saying it. But I love the feedback that we're getting, and Max, gems, man, gems on gems. We got more videos and more stuff in the archives and in the stash to make, to keep you guys afloat, to stay on this positive mindset. Now I'm gonna get into our last topic, and even before we do that, I encourage everybody, whether you feel like you're giving it your all, or what you want to do, or you don't know what your purpose is in life, try new things. Like I always encourage people to, the vision board is so important, because a vision board, like, you get a newspaper, you get a magazine, cut things up, after you start doing those, or you start cutting up, you'll start to be like, oh, what do I want in life? This is a house, a new car, I want a business, clothes. Like, there's so many aspects. And then do your research, and then take it from there. But just make sure you do the due diligence and not just keep it in your mind, because it's easy to say you want to do something and just have it in your head, but it takes action.
Take out what's on your memory and put it on paper. Don't trust your memory. You know what I mean? Anybody here want to testify that they've been listening to these gems for the last 30 minutes and want to talk about the first gems I said? Chances are you won't remember it. So it's just kind of like one of those things, like, you know what I mean? That's why, and it's not so much as remember, but once again, if it's gravitating to you, obviously there's one, you can't remember all of them. Some gems were more meaningful, the others, some topics were more kind of like, and that's where it starts from. Like with that's the calendar, that's the beginning of change. It's not everything, right? If you go through a whole episode and nothing moved you, it's okay. Maybe it's a different topic that does it for you. There's people that love when we talk about money because that's their certain circumstance that they're in at the moment, right? And then there's people when it's like has to do with mental health, like, that's the uniqueness about all humans. Like, eventually something has to pull you, right? That life jacket has to get thrown in, like, this is it, this is my chance to get on this boat and keep moving forward.
Imagine, man used to think I could remember everything. Oh, did I learn? Manifesting, writing the vision down. Yes, shout out to Randy Rose, that was our guest last week. If you haven't checked out the episode, please do so. We talked about mental health. We talked about balancing and like how do you balance when being a serial entrepreneur and how he was able to get there. So I encourage people to check that episode out if you're looking for some gems.
And I just want to throw that in there, like even when we talk, so one thing about Motivation Monday platform is like when we have a guest and even the topics they're talking about, we talk about the themes that we want you guys to pick from. So maybe you might not want to be an entrepreneur, but we're talking about balance. It could be a balance between working, being a mother, and going to school. Like, you know what I mean? It's about balance. See how people, what are some of the coping mechanisms of the people use in their daily lives, and that's what we should take away from. So if you may not be able to relate and saying, there goes Max and Ebo and talking from a male perspective and the things that work out from, but the things don't change, you know? And we often, when I'm on the episode, we talk about the 3 words and we try to make sense of it. And those are the 3 take-home words that we should always be using, like deliberate, discipline. Those things don't change. And no matter where it is that you look at, you're always going to find people to tell you something. If you're looking for a mentor, that's what it's all going to be. Nobody has the code that if you did A to B, you're going to have $1 million. They're actually going to talk about the themes and the sacrifices they paid and how they commit themselves to what it is that they want for themselves. And it's eventually what's going to take them to that target goal.
Shout out to my guy Joe, you made it. Young Joe. We were all together yesterday, so obviously when we're leaving, you know me, just don't forget to tune into Motivation Mondays. He said he will, and he's catching us right here. But you know, you can take in the whole episode from the beginning, whether it's on rewatching on YouTube or on streaming platform, as soon as this episode is done. Our last topic, learning from your mistakes.
It's deep. Like, I mean, learning from your mistake, time and time again, we hear this all the time, like, you know what I mean? But I'm just gonna say this: responsibility is key to everything. Self-acceptance is everything, you know? Take full responsibility for everything that you do. It's also best to accept responsibility for the mistakes at others' hands. You don't play yourself to be the victim. Take full responsibility for yourself and everything that you've been through, and also it's at best to set the mistake at others, you know? And that's freedom, because you could grow, like I just said, the resentment is a killer within, right? Somebody disappointing you, walk around with it, they might not feel that way, you know? And also one thing about mistakes is mistakes often happens on the easy side of life, right? When we let our guard down, that's when the little thing creeps up. When everything is going well, like, let me test you. And this is just, I remember things saying it. I might misquote it if I'm wrong, but we all know the incident with Chris Rock and Will Smith and Denzel Washington, I believe, is the one that pulled Will to the side. And this might not be the words exactly, but as long as, like, the devil tests you the most when you're at your highest. Right? And it's kind of like, that's what I mean by mistakes happen on the easy side of life. When you lay your guard down, that's when all the hardship, when everything is going well for you, like, you know, they want to test you. Like, you have it all figured out. You're sleeping comfortably now. Let me come make things much more difficult than you. And when mistakes happen, don't let it defeat you. When things go wrong, don't let it take you to a dark place you cannot come out of, right? You know, don't focus on the mistake, focus on the positivity and say, you know what, next time. Remember, we're not having bad days, we're having character building days, right? Those moments don't make us. We're not having bad days, we're having character building days. So we're just gonna say next time that challenge, we're not even gonna call it a challenge, that opportunity presents itself, we're knocking it out of the park. I practiced that the last time. I know what this is. I know how to deal with when people are not respecting my boundaries, because I dealt with it last time. Now let me show you the skills that I developed from last time. So that's what we mean by character building days. Don't let it defeat you. Don't be a victim, right? Don't be a victim, because like I just said, the world's gonna keep pushing you to the point where it's beyond your control, right? And that's when you have to come see the therapist and see them, man. And then they tell you come every other week and take all your money, right? It's funny I'm in that field, but we're not gonna get into that. But
we'll say that
that's another thing, you know what I mean? We're not gonna get into that, but that's often, you know, that's the thing that you do find in therapy is often people are too agreeable, and people have often pushed them, and people don't push you overnight. It's a little bit, you know what I mean? If I want to get in your space, I'm not just gonna come in your space. I'll push you just an inch today, then tomorrow, then eventually you push beyond to the point where there's no coming back, right? So don't be a victim. Don't be victim to your own life. Live your life like you're the superhero in your movie. Only you know what it is that you're going through. Only you know what it is that you're facing. And through your journey of happiness, remember, happiness is not a destination. It's about the process of going through it. But through your journey, understand that could include mistakes, rejection, and disappointment, right? Through your journey of going through to reach that happy line, which you may never. So happiness is not when you purchase your first home. Happiness is not when you get that car or when you get that girl. It's momentary. If you think that's all there is, there's more to it. It's about the process, right? When you talk about when people win the championship, they think about what happened this season and then this, and they relive the moment. At the rally, they don't talk about when we were holding the trophy, they still have the trophy. They talk about that point in the season when this happened. You know, shout out Golden State. What were they talking about in the middle of the season when everybody said this? They weren't talking about when the game was over. They're talking about what people, the journey that they went through, right? And that's what I was talking about. That journey will include mistakes, it will include rejection, and it will include disappointment. Don't let those define you, right? Overcome those. And like we said, mistakes happen on the easy side of life, and that's all part of it. Welcome it. Welcome all of it. It makes you, it shapes you, determine who you are. Who you are today is not based on all the good things that happen to you. It's mainly based on the bad things that happen to you, right? You have a perspective on this world. You know you're optimistic. You got burned a few times. Now you're alert. Now you're less disagreeable. Now you know to set boundaries and you mean those boundaries, right? So those are all shape of who you are, like, you know. So be grateful for the challenges that you've been through, because if everything went well for you, you won't have the things that you have, believe it or not. And I really, really genuinely mean that. The things that you have in your life is because you're able to stand up for yourself, define what it is that you want, and say what it is. And those people who don't have, and that often find themselves like they push their edge because they're too agreeable, tend to be more assertive. You know, that one kind of hold dear to me when people are like, you know, because the world is a cruel, mean place, and people just push you to the brink where it's beyond your control. So, yeah, it's about it.
Literally, and I love, you know, everybody's agreeing. You got the seeing the facts. What else do we got over here? Thanks for the happiness is not a destination. Make it a part of your journey.
Exactly. Make it a part of your journey, because you never reach there. It's always until. If you think happiness is in a car, I guarantee you once you get that car next year, somebody else have a new car. Does that mean your happiness is determined upon that object? It's not an object. It's not a destination. It's how you feel in that moment. Like you just said, you go through sad times, you go through moments, and then there's another one. You see these people that are at the top and they want something else. What next? How else can I be better than what I was yesterday? And that's what it's about. That's the meaning of life. You never quit. When you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. You don't stop. You become better. At no point in life should you settle. If you feel like this is the end of your book, your chapter, whatever it is, it doesn't end here. There's 30 more years. No matter how you are, you have 30 more years. And when those 30 years comes, say you have 30 more years, all right? Don't stop. Make the most of it.
That wraps up this episode. You know, appreciate everybody. I seen a couple cancers in here. It's cancer season, so happy belated to you too, my guy. You know, this is it, man. This episode, if you're just joining us, please go take it in from the top. There's a lot of gems. Get your notepad, your note pen, and make sure you write down these gems. A lot of people, as you can see in the comments, are agreeing. And, you know, one brother said, thanks for the uplifting for today. Sometimes you just need it. And that's why we make sure every Monday it'll be different conversation, different topics. But sometimes you just need to hear something different that can help you uplift your day. And with that being said, that wraps up episode 38. That's Motivation Mondays. I'm yours truly, MCE Motivation Culture.
Max is speakers, no doubt. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. And like I just said, it's not just questions are not just only for today. If you follow us on any other platforms, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, send your questions there, and we just